Hey everyone, welcome back. So, first day of the year of trading for the miners. It was actually a pretty good day, all things considered. We had quite a few miners that were in the green, which was nice to see. Bitcoin was in the green as well, like 3% at one point, I think, and it closed out. We'll take a look at where it closed out. We also have news from Bitfarms, like always, clockwork, man. They always provide us with the production updates for December. For the prior month, which is great. They always do that, so that's fantastic to see. Nobody else really reported. Hive did provide us a little update there, but not a lot of details as far as production for December. I'm sure it's going to come out in, I'm guessing, 5-7 days or something like that. That's usually when they report. So we'll look at all that stuff here. We'll look at the updated enterprise metrics for the miners as well. Get into Q&A, call it a day, and we'll be done. All right, so let's get into it here. As always, you guys know the drill. Not financial advice for entertainment only. Not this one. This is not the one I wanted. This is the one I wanted. Not financial advice for entertainment only. Do your own research, as always. Full disclosure down below that. Hit the like button, subscribe. Helps me out tremendously. And let's take a look at what's going on here with Bitcoin today. Bitcoin had a good day, which is good. So let's go here. And we can see that Bitcoin was up approximately, well, the high was 97,776. We closed at 96,903. We were right there on that 50 simple day moving average line. We went above it and we closed right at that point. We are just slightly above it right now. Let me see if I can zoom that in far enough. Maybe get a better reading on it. Yeah, we're just slightly above that right now. So we'll see if we can stay above it in the new day today, right now, going on Friday. That might be a good sign here. If that does stay above it and continues to go up, that might mean that we might not be going down to like the 85,000 mark, 80,000 mark, whatever it might be. But if this gets rejected here and we fall, well, we might be coming back down, okay? I'd love nothing more to see than Bitcoin continue to go up instead of going down. But then I'd also like to buy some more at lower prices on the miners. So if you're in it for a little bit longer time frame, a nice little dip here would be nice, I think, to buy some more shares if that's your cup of tea there. But yeah, so Bitcoin did pretty good today. Miners, for the most part, MicroStrategy also did pretty good. It was up 3.59 today. It was up higher, but then it came back down a little bit here. It's still, I don't know. We'll see how that one does going forward. I think it's going to follow Bitcoin here as well. Bitfarms was up nicely today, 8% on that one. Even with the news of no growth, we'll talk about that here in a second when we get into the news section of everything. Bittier was up also nicely, 5.54. Cypher up 4%. Cleanspark up 2.6. CORZ was up 3%. Hive was up nicely today, 8.4. I think the news that they are at, well, we'll discuss it in the news section where they are right now. That kind of helped them out. Then moving also to the United States, being headquartered there, that kind of helped out the stock as well. Hut A was up 6.8. IREN was up 6.52. Mara was up 2.6. Riot was up 2.4, and Wolf, for some reason, was down 3.53%. Not sure what happened there. Smaller miners were up also for the most part. Mawson, for some reason, was up huge today, was up almost 20%. That was higher than 20% at one point. Stronghold was up also nicely today, 10% as well. That's mainly because Bitfarms is going up as well. And then the ETFs were up nicely as well. BitQ was up 3.5, BKCH was up 4, DAP was up 5, and WGMI was up 4.5. So all around, a good start to January 2025. Wow. Yeah. So we're starting out pretty good. We'll see how we end up on that one. Historically, let's take a look at it here. Historically, January, it's kind of mixed. Going back through all the years prior, we've had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, kind of half and half. It looks like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, we've had half and half here. So it's a toss up as far as which way January is going to go for us right now. But we're up 3.51% right now. So it's not too bad. Overall, good start. We'll take it. We'll take anything we can get. And we need probably 20, 30 more days like this to do really well with not only Bitcoin, but Bitcoin miners as well. So I'll take it. A green day is a green day nonetheless. Okay. If we look at the Bitcoin ETFs inflows here for today, we got a nice green day here as well. Quite a few inflows here happening on it across the board. So that's good. And we'll track this as well. And that's kind of what we saw with Bitcoin and Bitcoin miners day. I could probably make this bigger, I think. Maybe not. Let me see, can I make this bigger? There we go. Oh, there it is. It is bigger. Okay, so you guys can see the numbers here as well. So that looks a little bit better for us. Next, the stories that we do have here is, first one's going to be on Bitfarms. So Bitfarms provides us with December 2024 production operation update. They have increased hash rate 97% year over year to 12.8 exahash. Improved efficiency 40% year over year to 21 watts per terahash or joules per terahash. They've earned 2,914 BTC for the full year of 2024. Expanded operations, operational megawatts, 35% year over year to 324 megawatts. Acquisition of Stronghold Digital Mining on track to close in Q1 of this year. So that's all good things. There's some disappointing stuff in here as well. We'll get into that. But we do have some commentary from the CEO and the CFO as well. So Ben Gagnon stated 2024 was a transformative year for Bitfarms. While we did not meet our original growth targets, that was the disappointment part of it. We accomplished a tremendous amount during the year. We doubled our hash rate, improved efficiency by 40%, upgraded 11 data centers, increased active megawatts by 35%, revamped and strengthened our board of directors and management team, assumed control of our first U.S. large-scale site in Sharon, Pennsylvania, with access to up to 120 megawatts, negotiated a settlement to a hostile takeover, aka Riot there, and announced our proposed acquisition of Stronghold Digital Mining, which represents the largest acquisition between two public companies in the Bitcoin mining sector right now. So all those things are true. Yes, they've done a lot of good things here. They've done, I would say, a lot of good things. The only bad one, I would say, is missing their targets for 21 exahash within a year. That's been pushed out for 6 months. And, well, we'll get into it once we get into the nitty-gritty of it all here. But continuing on here, consistent with our strategy to shift our portfolio towards the U.S., the Stronghold acquisition expected to close Q1 will expand and rebalance our energy portfolio in the attractive PJM region with visibility on target multi-year expansion capacity of up to 1.6 gigawatts with approximately 66% in the United States. So, right, that's why I think they're going to be probably moving over their headquarters to the United States. An 11-fold increase from approximately 6% today by vertically integrating with power generation and expanding our energy trading capabilities and acquiring 2 high-potential sites for HPC/AI. With significant multi-year expansion potential, we are also executing our strategy to diversify beyond Bitcoin mining to create greater long-term shareholder value. All right, so, but no time frame on that. I'm still thinking it's probably going to be at the earliest 2026 when they do something with HPC/AI, but we'll see. On that, Jeff Lucas as well concluded our synthetic HODL program. This is pretty interesting here. Launched as a pilot program in October 2023, has been a key source of low-cost capital, enabling superior returns and outperformance to Bitcoin. We took advantage of the higher Bitcoin prices in December to close out our positions and realize profits before the end of the year. Since the program's inception, we have achieved 135% return in US dollar terms, generating a trading profit of approximately 18 million. So that's good. I mean, if they can continue to do that, it's definitely going to help with less dilution, at least a little bit. Having delivered such strong performance with synthetic HODL program to date, we are excited to launch our expanded program in 2025. So I thought that was great news there as well. And here are the details here. So December, total Bitcoin earned 211 compared to 207 in November. We had, I believe, one more day in December than we did in November. So that might be a reason why. Monthly operating hash rate was 12.8, the same as November. So, right, a lot of questions on X and places like that where people are, asking questions, and rightfully so. Where is this, continuous growth that they've been talking about? That it should be more stable and things like that. Well, we didn't get any growth for December, so that's obviously concerning there. What's going on there? We'd like to know what's going on with Paraguay. What's going on with the 20,000 machines that were supposed to be plugged in at Stronghold as well? A little bit more details I think would help. Are there issues? What are those issues? I mean, I think we're all big girls and boys here. I think we can handle if they tell us, these things are stuck in customs, or these things are still, whatever, might be in shipment and transit. And then this is what our plan is for January. We're expecting to get to X, right? I think that would be helpful. Average operating hash rate was 11.1, so a little bit better than they did in November with 10.7, so that was good. And then Bitcoin sold was less than they sold in November, so that was also good, 147 compared to 174 here. So that was good. And then their HODL increased as well down here, added 64 BTC, bringing treasury to 934 right now. And that is up from the 870 that they had in November there. So they still have really good numbers there. And there was something else I saw. Where was it? Oh, here it is. I forgot to mark it. Total liquidity of 147 million, including approximately 60 million in cash at December 31st. So pretty good balance sheet there right now going into the new year as it is. So I think that's okay. But yep, that's kind of where I have them right now. Let's take a look at the numbers for them. Bitfarms here, I updated all the numbers for them as well. Right now they're at 722 million market cap. Their performance over the last 12 weeks has not been great, right? We talk about it all the time. Current hash rate 12.8, future hash rate is supposed to be 21. They do have the potential to possibly get to like 35. We don't know when that's going to be though. right now. BTC HODL 934. That's $90 million in value roughly. That is 12.56% of their market cap right now, or 20 cents of every share has the HODL value in it. Their BTC mined here did increase a little bit here to 211. We talked about that. Revenue also increased nicely to 20.73 million. That is a benefit of Bitcoin going up in value. I also added approximately 73% in Bitcoin transaction fees for them on average. I'm going to do the same thing for everybody else as well. I did those numbers for today. But this is the best revenue that they've had here in the last year. I'm guessing it's probably going to be the best revenue they had here for a while. I could probably go back and see, but I believe that's their best month here in revenue. Bitcoin HODL increased a little bit, like we talked about, to 934, which was good. Hash rate has been stuck here now at 12.8. Bitcoin sold, they sold less here than they did, obviously, in November. November was, they used Bitcoin to secure the miners, I believe it was, the additional miners they're getting, or the upgraded miners. BTC per exahash efficiency was at 16.5 now. BTC sold value about 14 million or so. Going down here, we'll get into these numbers in a second here. Institutions did increase a little bit here to 216. Shares also increased to 100.5 million. Percentage owned increased a little bit as well to 22.75. We now have 6 strong buy ratings, 2 buy ratings, 0 holds, 0 underperforms, 0 sells. Price targets also went up for them, $6 for the high. Average went up a little bit to 443, and the low stayed the same at 350. But there is obviously more strong sentiment on the stock here, it seems like. Another increase here, so that's good. For the month of December here, we had them mining at approximately 26.87 days out of the month, roughly. Based on what they reported, the average Bitcoin price, the network hash rate average where it was for the month. This is kind of where they came in at. So that was actually pretty good there. And that got us to the 20.727 million, roughly, with the 565,000 and additional transaction fees as well. Going up here, looks like for the quarter, they're going to be about 53.8 million in revenue. That's going to be their best quarter here, going back to quite a ways. So they are generating more and more revenue, which is good to see on that side of things, right? But we still want to see more hash rate growth. Based on that, what they mined in December here, multiplying that times 12 months, I have in between 416 and 624 with a P of 15. They're at $1.61 right now. They're definitely way undervalued in my opinion. Will they get valued fairly in time? Maybe, maybe not. We'll have to wait and see. I still think that they should. And the only thing I can think of is maybe them not being in headquartered in the United States and Riot still owning 19.9% of the shares there until we hear something otherwise. So good thing other than that was insiders are buying. Ben bought. A couple other people have bought within the company as well here recently in December. So that's a good sign that they also think that the stock is way undervalued currently, and it is, in my opinion. And then even if we look at the numbers for the last 3 quarters that are actual and the current quarter that we just finished, Q4, revenues for them, which are estimated right now until we get those from them, I still have them at 319 to 478. They're at $1.61. They should be at least 2x from where they are right now on that. Okay, so yeah, way undervalued. The only thing is, like I said, is a little bit more clarity on what's going on with the hash rate there. What's the issues? What's the holdup? I think that would be nice if they could share that with shareholders. I know a lot of you guys are asking for that, so we'll be pressing them to maybe provide something on it. I doubt that they will, but we'll press them on it. And then the other thing we're going to press them on is obviously getting headquartered in the United States as well. We're going to start a poll probably. I'll do it probably next week on Monday. I think might be a better time than doing it on a Friday. So I'll do that then, get as much traction in that as possible as well to kind of push them in that direction possibly if they're not already thinking about it anyways. Okay, so that's it for Bitfarms. Pretty good, but not good, I guess you could say. I would have liked to have seen more growth. And that was one of my concerns here with them. That's why, as you guys know, I sold a portion of my shares in them probably, 4 weeks ago, 5-6 weeks ago or something like that. Because that was one of the concerns that I had was the growth. The growth was being pushed out. Okay. All right. So that's it on Bitfarms. Let's get into Hive here. Hive is another one here. So Hive came out today that they put this out on January 1st. I don't know if we covered this. I don't think we did. So on New Year's Day, they put this out. But Hive Digital Technologies achieves milestone 6 exahash of capacity. And I thought we were going to have some updates as far as their operations as well for December, but we didn't. All we have is this. So they announced today it has reached 6 exahash per exahash of operational hash rate, marking 47% year-over-year growth from 4.08 exahash at December 31st to now, so that's good. I mean, it's slow growth for them, but it's growth nonetheless. They've done quite a few things here to upgrade their systems or upgrade their mining machines and all that stuff. So that's all looking good there. Furthermore, Hive is proud that it has secured highly competitive energy pricing in Sweden, adding to its hedge position with electricity costs at sub 2 cents rates per kilowatt hour and underscoring its commitment to enhancing operational cost efficiency and profitability. That's really good, right? But then you add on top of it probably the transmission fees and delivery fees, whatever those are, probably gets up a little bit higher than that, but it's still really good at 2 cents. The company anticipates reaching 15 exahash of global hash rate capacity by end of 2025 with a blended fleet efficiency of 17 joules per terahash upon full deployment of its 100 megawatt hydroelectric powered strategic expansion in Paraguay. Okay, so that's basically it. So it's good that they got to 6. My cutoff mark for this year was going to be 5 exahash, so they got above that. And if they didn't get above that, they would have been negated down to the smaller miners group. So they are at least trying to keep up with the network hash rate there, but it's a smaller rate though. Okay, so I think this is good. Good news there. And that's it. That's all I got for you guys. Oh, let's take a look at the enterprise metrics really quick on the stocks, see how they're looking right now. And then we'll call it a day here. So this is as of today. Things have been updated. And we can still see here, based on current hash rate, Hive is still the most undervalued at 27 million per exahash, followed by Bitfarms at 51. Then you got probably Riot at 71. And you got Cleanspark and IREN tied at 76 million, Marathon at 82 million. So I still think these guys are way undervalued from where they should be. And you got BitDeer at 391 million valued right now. Future hash rate growth, if you look at that, you can see that Hive still most undervalued at 14 million, Bitfarms at 31 million, then you got Cleanspark at 46 million, Riot at 51, Iris at 71 million, or IREN, sorry, Mara at 73 million, and then some of these guys down here, and BitDeer again being highly, highly valued for the future hash rate growth as it is right now. So that's kind of where we're standing right now. A lot of them are still way undervalued, in my opinion, and maybe in time, in the next quarter or two, we'll get that to flip a little bit, but we'll see. Okay, that is it. That is all I got for you guys. Pretty easy day today. Let's get into you guys' Q&A, and as always, Patreon members, link is in the description for that if you want to have access to all my spreadsheets. It's $4 or $5, and if you are able to get that, go ahead and do that. It's a nice discount. Otherwise, it's $8 a month. Not a bad deal for all the data that I track on these guys. All right, that's it. Let's get into Q&A here. See what you guys have to say. As always, if you guys could preface the question with Q, and then I'll scroll up and make my way up a little bit to see if there's any questions, and we'll work our way down. So I'll try to get through all your questions there as well. Let's see, we have a lot of friendly faces here that I see all the time, which is great to see. Okay, there we are. Let's see what we got here. Mike Burry says, Hive is by far the best opportunity in the market right now. Could possibly be, yep. I mean, they're way undervalued as it is. Let's see. Okay. Minor Gijan, excuse me, Minor Gijan says money going into quantum computing stocks, possibly. Let's see here. Hi Seb, if you think miners will perform well in 2025 or outperform BTC, what would be percentage that we would be wrong about miners' performance for 2025? I am a bit concerned. Excuse me, percentage gains? If we see Bitcoin do like 2x from where it's at right now, the miners at this point should at least do a 2x, right? That's kind of the standard, more or less. Typically, they do like a 3x. Last cycle, at least, they did, on average. So if they do it 2x, then, yeah, it's definitely different from prior cycles. And ideally, I'd like to see at least 3 to 5x, somewhere around there. If Bitcoin goes 2x. Okay, let's see here. Hi, Seb, in April, you gave a price target for IREN of 34, 32, assuming 50% gross margin, and BTC at 100. Are you still sticking with that generally? At 180,000, yeah, I mean, I would think it would get there and possibly even higher than that. I think with their growth they've had this year, getting to 31 exahash, the number of, well, the revenue they're going to be generating, if Bitcoin stays above 100,000 going forward, is going to be tremendous there, and the profit margin is going to be very sweet. I think they can actually get more than that. My target for them this year was if Bitcoin gets to like 200, 250,000, we could get as high as up to like $70 possibly. But that's Bitcoin going up there, right? Let's see. Question here. What in God's name is going on with Bitfarms that's causing them to have multiple occurrences where there is no exahash growth? Yeah, I don't know. That's one of the questions that we have here. Is one of the things we'd like to have answered from Ben and company there. All right, let's see. Neville says, the cat's out of the bag anyway with Bitfarms. I don't know why they chose to remain so quiet on their issues. The last time they were this quiet, we had to figure out so late that they would miss their exahash target. Yeah, I mean, I agree with you there. All right, what else do we have here? I'm trying to find a question. Okay, here we go. CS, a question. What is your obsession with buying the dip? You have been buying the dip for like 3 or 4 years. At some point, do you actually want to make money? You come off as foolish. Maybe to some people, yeah. But I'm still up. I'm still green on Bitfarms, Cleanspark, IREN. And the only reason I'm still up on them is because I did the dip. I bought the dip. You know, we'll see how it all ends for me in the next couple of quarters. But I'm hoping to be up much higher than where I'm at right now. I'm still, I think with Cleanspark, I'm still up close to 100% right now. So did I do bad? No. If I was down in the red or something like that, then I would say, okay, yeah, maybe this strategy isn't working, but I'm still in green. So if I can get another dip on these guys and you know, Bitcoin goes up higher, then I'm going to do okay. Okay. Question, what is the current PE that Cleanspark is being valued at? I mean, we can run a calculation on it here. Let me see. Go over here, go back to the screen. I'm going to Cleanspark right now. They are, let's see, I don't have the numbers for December for them, but let's see here. They're at 945 right now. So if we look at last 3 cycles and the current cycle that we're in, which is estimated, or current quarter, they are, that would be probably like maybe around a 10 or something like that. But if you look at the revenue they had in November, multiplying it times 12, then they would be even lower than that, maybe like a 8, somewhere around there, halfway mark between the 50 and the 75. So somewhere around there, it looks like. Okay. Put it back up over here. Okay. Let's go back here. Okay. Question, why is Cleanspark not going up? I have no idea. No more dilution. Fully funded to like 50 exahash plus there. I don't know. I don't know what's going on with that. And that, I think it's just being shorted still. We'll update the short numbers probably maybe tomorrow. If not, I'll do it over the weekend. We'll do a review on that. And that'll be based on the numbers that we have from the middle of December. Okay, Mike says, Seb, not a question, but you should definitely swap your Bitfarms position for Hive. See, I had Hive back in 2017. It did good. I'm not going to say it didn't do good. I did a bad job of timing it and selling it. So that was my mistake there. But I sold it, when did I sell it? Last year? Last year, yeah. No, not 2025. I sold it in 2023. Hi, Big Brother Seb. Question, how far do you think Filecoin can go this bull run? Oh my gosh, Filecoin. I think I had that one back in the last cycle a little bit. For a couple of months, I think I had that one. I have no idea where that one's going. Okay. So do you still have the soundboard? I missed the bear one. I got the soundboard still up. Let me see it. Should be less loud than it has been in the past. But let me know. But there's, I think we're more in a bull cycle right now. Maybe if we can stay above the 50 simple day moving average, that might be a bull case. All right. Question, what discount would you give Bitfarms given their poor history of achieving growth targets along with Riot overhang? Would Cleanspark be the cheapest miner if you take that into account? Yeah, if you take into account their, yeah, if you discount them, that's why I have Cleanspark as my number 1 target, IREN number 2, and Bitfarms number 3 spot for me at least. So yeah, I am discounting the fact that they haven't been, at least this year, they haven't been able to reach their targets, right? They've always been a great operator, great uptimes and everything else like that. It's just, I don't know what happened with Paraguay and things like that. We don't know the answers to that. And things got backtracked. So it wasn't good. Let's see. Fred Thiel said the Mara mining business is not being valued at all. Why do you think that is? He says only the HODL is being valued. Potentially. I mean, if we look at their numbers here really quick, let me pull it up. I mean, you can see it in their numbers. based on we are right now. If we look at their market cap is 5.5 billion. They have 4.3 billion in HODL value as it is right now. That's 77.84%. That's just crazy right now. Yeah, they're not being valued on it. I think it's because of their poor performance here over the last year as far as uptime and just general uptime. I think that's maybe the reason why. That's the only thing I can think of. They've done better here in November. I think they're doing much better here in December as well, much closer to 100% uptime. But maybe that might change the sentiment there a little bit. But yeah, I agree. They're not being really valued on their operations. They're being valued on their HODL right now. They're only being valued, what was it, 1.2 billion on their operations here, more or less. Yeah, which is definitely pretty low, all things considering. So it's just a goofy market that we're in. Like I said, Marathon, Riot, Cleanspark, IREN, they're all way undervalued from them really should be. Okay, let's see here. Hi, Seb, should we expect IREN to update us on the $1+ trillion companies that want to use their energy? We should get an update if anything comes of it, right? But they said somebody was interested in it, but based on interest, how far does that interest go? And then can you actually get to a dollar figure? Can you get to a deal or something like that? That can always take a little while. So you got to be patient with that one, I think. And we'll find in due course. Can the U.S. control the price of Bitcoin after the reserve, just like the Fed can increase or decrease fiat money supply? Well, U.S. government can't control the supply of Bitcoin, so there's no controlling it that way. It's always going to get less supply over time, so that should increase in value over time as well. So I don't think they can. Okay. Question, would you diversify into another sector? Which one would it be, quantum energy or something else? Quantum, I have to do more research on quantum. I think it's just still the early stages on that. But yeah, I know there's a lot of money being made there. Energy, definitely for sure. Energy is something that's going to have to continue to grow, right? So the small modular reactors, SMRs, are interesting as well. That's an interesting space for me. Then what else? I think that would be it right now. Then just HPCI maybe even. Okay, let's see here. Hi, Hank. Yeah, hi, Seb. Just joined the show. Are you disappointed with the lack of info Ben is providing? Yeah, I am. I wish they would provide why they're not able to grow, or at least what caused them to be flat from November to December here, and what are the issues at Paraguay, if there's any issues, and if there's any issues with the miners that they're getting, are there delays in there? We're all big boys and girls. We can handle it. Let us know what's going on there, what you're doing to remedy it, and when do you think it's going to be remedied? That's all we really ask for. Okay. Can you at some point include price targets for miners, assuming a P of 15 and 60% gross margin? That would be in the middle of the two scenarios. I could. I mean, you can just kind of see where they are, more or less. Right? I think you can do the middle by yourselves a little bit on it. And plus, real estate here is kind of skim as it is. But maybe I could put. Maybe I can. I'll have to figure it out. I mean, you can see the middle of that between 28 and 42 would be somewhere around 12. So you got 6, so you're looking at 34, something like that. 34 to 36, something like that for marathon at least, right? You can figure that out. Somewhere in the middle right there. That's kind of where, yeah, would work out as well. All right, back here. Let's see. Okay. Do you think something wrong went in Paraguay? Ben slept with local mafia's daughter. Just kidding, but they seem to have refocused their attention on the U.S. expansion and zero talk on Paraguay. I think, well, the U.S. is the hub, right, of Bitcoin mining and things like that. That's where all the money's at. Also, so I think that's kind of why they're focusing on that. They're seeing other miners that are focused more on the United States have done better. So I think that's the reason for it. Whereas before, they had the board there, which was, I think, more focusing on South America, I think it was, Paraguay and all that stuff. So that's why they're kind of refocusing their focus, I guess you could say. Let's see. William says, I've been averaging down. I will continue to average down. Nice. Let's see. Do you plan to diversify and buy stocks outside of Bitcoin miners industry? After this cycle, once they, hopefully do well. If not, I'll just take out what I put in. and maybe some profits at that point, and I'll pay off my student loans and maybe sell a couple of loans or something like that, and try doing something else again. But the big thing is I want to pay off my student loans. I'm really tired of having to pay those things. But then definitely look into other things as well. I was looking into maybe getting into housing or something like that. You know, houses are always going to be in demand, I think, but I don't know yet. Okay, that's your question. Do you understand the definition of opportunity loss? You spent all this time DCing into the miners while you missed out on hundreds of stocks that destroyed miners. Well, sure. There's opportunity losses if I was only spending this time. What's the word I'm looking for? If I had the time to day trade, basically. I don't have the time to day trade. I work a full-time job, and then I do this after work, right? So then I still have a family, kids, everything else. And then I do make a little bit of extra money from YouTube, from Patreon members, which are great. So that helps out a little bit there. So it's not really opportunity lost. It's one, education for me. Hopefully you guys learn something from it as well. I've made a bunch of friends here. So I don't view it as an opportunity lost. I'm still in the green. If I was in the red, and depending where we end up at, I could do very well. So that's kind of the way I'm looking at it. All right, question. Will Bitfarms, while the company official claims a focus on shareholder value creation, current management and the board lack significant ownership stakes, should put an employee share ownership program? Maybe, yeah. But they've been buying. Ben bought 100,000 shares last month, December. Somebody else has bought quite a few as well. So they are definitely taking a stake there. All right, can you go over the total cost of revenue to mine one Bitcoin for Cleanspark, IREN, and Bitfarms? I have them all over 100,000. If you include the numbers for share-based compensation, depreciation as well, then yeah, you're probably looking at probably close to 100,000. Some of these guys here. My numbers, I look at all cash expenses, or at least I try to look at all cash expenses. Let's go back over here. Break-even numbers. This is where I have IREN. I had at 60. This was based on Q3 results for these guys, and then I extrapolated the data into their current operations as of November, I believe it was. So this was based on November figures for them. I had IREN at 60, Core at 64, Cleanspark at 66. Bitfarms came in much higher at 80.9. That's only because they had an extra $12 million added into their SG&A, and I think that was to pay off the prior CEO. If you reduce that 12 million there, that got them down to like in the 60s. So I think that was a one-time thing there, and that brought them down. But yeah, if you include SG&A, you include depreciation as well into it, then that does definitely bump them up much higher. All right, sorry, I had to just take a sip of my water. All right, where were we? Q&A. All right, back here. All right, let's see here. Seb, why don't you use EV to beta at a 5x multiple as the main formula for valuation, since that is how pretty much how every mining operation is being valued at, not including AI HPC earnings? You're talking about like Bitcoin mining or like gold mining and things like that? Let's see. Okay. Mike says, also I have 500,000 worth of call options on Hive expiring January 26th. They are still cheap. Highly recommend you look at the options chain. Okay, but I don't do options though. He's got a $3 strike there. Okay. Question, when do you think we will see more mergers and acquisitions between public miners this year? No. I think as the valuations are going up, I don't think we're going to see it. If we do see it, we're going to see it probably in another bear market. Okay, Mark says people don't trust the miners due to constant dilution. That's why Mara is not valued like Assembler or MSTR. Okay, there might be a point to that, but you also, if you're getting something for that, it's just not dilution, just to, pay their own bills or pay their salaries. I think there's a difference there. Look at where the companies were from just last cycle to where they are now as far as exahash and what they're going to be generating in revenue because of it. Let me see if I have the data here on, I know I have probably Marathon, but I don't know if I go back that far. Hold on, let me see. I go back to February. I don't have the revenue numbers for it. Let me see. Oh, where is it at? Marathon. Let me see here. We go back to January 2022. let's see here. Okay, Marathon might be a good example here. All right, Marathon was at that point at 3.8 exahash, and they generated in March. So this was basically, well, you can go back to January, even like a month or two after Bitcoin peaked, right? And when was it? November, I think it peaked. But they generated approximately 17 million at that point in a month. Now you're talking about pretty much where we are right now in January, or pretty close in December. Now I have them at approximately 80 million in revenue, right? Dilution, yes, but you also got, what is that roughly? A 4x roughly, right? Am I doing that right? 20 million times 4, that's 80, yeah. A 4x in revenue as well. Yes, Bitcoin has gone up in value, but so have their operations, their hash rate, everything else. So you're getting actually something for it. It's not just out the window, poof, gone because of dilution. You're getting more revenue because of it. And it's just like anything else with dilution. How do you think Amazon grew? How do you think any of these companies that grew, Apple, Google, all that stuff? It's through dilution to grow, to become the biggest, right? You need scale. All these companies were trying to get to scale. And that's kind of what these guys are trying to get to scale as well. So that's kind of the way I view it. Okay. Let's go back here to the Q&A. Let's see what else we got here. Let's see. Mortem says, people like DR, Lewis, and Rex Finance tweeted that Cleanspark could get to like 40s with BTC at 100,000, not picking on them, but with giant misses. What is wrong with their analytical process? Not much. We were just looking at the cycles that we had before and where they went. But cycle's still not over. So if the cycle was over and they said that, okay, yeah, definitely I could agree with that. I've been saying they should be much higher than that as it is. So I'm in that boat as well. I mean, I tweet about it on Twitter or X, but I've definitely talked about it here openly, right? I think these guys should be valued much higher. Past cycles, they would have been valued much higher. It is a different cycle. The miners are definitely more shorted right now than they have been in the past. So yeah, things have not worked out the way we thought they're going to work out, but are we delayed in that? Could we see that now in Q1, Q2? Time will tell. I still think Bitcoin has a way to go. A lot of people are still thinking Bitcoin is going to go at least 200,000 plus. That should be, I mean, just the amount of revenue they're going to be generating. I keep talking about this all the time. Marathon's making what, 70 some odd million right now. At Bitcoin 200,000, they should be at, they should be at like close to 200 million at that point, I think. If they continue to operate at 100% uptime or close to that at least, Bitcoin goes to 200,000 plus, you're looking at close to, $200 million a month in revenue. Okay, that's not chump change there. Something has to be re-rated on the stocks at that point. Because if they're making that much and they're being valued at the low numbers that they are right now, it's crazy, it's asinine. See, Andre says, hey Seb, had 6 1 stocks that I played as a momentum play. I sold 4 and will be selling the last 2 in the next few days. Now isn't the time to buy them after okay, so they've had a huge run up here also, yeah. So like I said, I haven't looked much into the quantum guys, but like I said, it's definitely, I think, what was the catalyst for that? Wasn't it Google with them with Willow? I believe the Willow chip there. Let's see here. Question, have you started to DCA your positions further, or are the bags loaded up enough? The bags are loaded up enough, but I still want to buy more if I can buy them at lower prices. So I am looking to buy more next week, potentially. I'm trying to scrounge up some cash right now. Let's see. Question, who has a better cost to mine, Cleanspark or IREN? I believe IREN has a little bit of an edge there. Right now, I think they do. Yeah. Just slightly. Let's see. Mike says, Rex Finance said Hive will be the best performing miner in 2025. I totally agree with him for once. Okay, we'll have to wait and see. Okay. Do we know if Bitfarms has installed any miners in Pennsylvania yet? I assume they aren't hashing there yet. They haven't provided any information on it, so we don't know. I'm sure if they, well, I wouldn't say I'm sure. I would think they would provide that kind of information if they installed something in Pennsylvania. Let's see. Question, with the cold weather coming, will miners curtail in January, and possibly this is related to short thesis? The miners that are in Texas, maybe. The other miners, maybe not so much. A lot of these machines actually like the cold. They don't like it to be too cold, but if you have a lot of them running at the same time, you can kind of keep the temperatures relatively nice for them. So I don't think that's going to be an issue, just maybe for the ones that are in Texas, maybe. We saw that, when we saw that? That was 2 years ago now, I think it was, when Riot had issues with that, when they had the Texas freeze. Let's see, were you able to see the price action correlation between Russell 2000 and miners like Cleanspark? We can compare when miners fell and rose on 5-year IWM charts, 2020, 2021, 2023, 2024, Trump won. Yeah, I saw, I was able only to look at one Cleanspark in comparison to that. And yeah, I definitely see a correlation there. Okay, why are quantum stocks up so much? I don't get the hype. Can you explain? The possibilities there are quite tremendous if they can get those things to run well and without a lot of errors. And it's still early stages, I think, in that. There's a lot of money being put into it. Google, others as well, are getting into it. And Google just had a breakthrough, I believe, just recently with the Willow chip and with theirs, which had very, I can't remember the exact number of errors, but that was the reason why I think things started to run. Question, do you understand the definition of opportunity loss? Yeah, I talked about that already. Okay. Let's see, question, the shorting on miners should be illegal. At what point do you think institutions will let the price run up? I think, honestly, if we start seeing really good Q4 results, which will be reported in February and March, those should be the catalyst, I would think, right? Because then they're going to be generating nice EPS earnings and things like that. That should help out. Okay. Question, with IREN being at 31 exahash, 15 joules, what are your predictions for the break-even cost to mine 1 BTC based on energy cost, overhead cost, etc.? To break even, I think there's like, let's see, if you're looking at energy cost, overhead costs, for them I have them with all cash costs, I have them at 60-some thousand here. Okay. Marx asks, those break-even prices are super high. What's the point of mining? Too hodl. Well, one, it could be too hodl, but also you're generating roughly right now a 40% margin on it. That's still pretty good. Bitcoin goes up to 150,000. You're looking closer to, what is that going to be then? 150, that's almost close to 100% profit margin at that? No, it wouldn't be 100%. Never be 100%. What am I thinking? But much higher profit margin at that point. The question, Sebastian, so because it is a bull market right now, you think Riot probably won't acquire Bitfarms now? I think so. You know, they were trying to do it still when things were relatively low on a lot of these guys here. But yeah, I don't think anybody's going to get acquired unless they capitulate. If Bitfarms capitulates or they got issues, whatever, and then they just go, no, the hell with it, and we're going to go with Riot. But Riot's taking the offer off the table too. So, but they have, I think, first dibs at it. Why not include those costs when calculating the cost to mine per BTC? I feel like we can have more realistic expectations of when they will go up if we have more transparent cost. You're talking about, SG&A and depreciation and all that stuff. You could. Let's see, why miners hodl if their stock can do 2 to 3x BTC price in a bull market? Shouldn't they buy back instead of hodl? Too dilutive, management wins over shareholders, massive agency costs. I mean, you can look at it any way you want to, I guess. Could they? But if Bitcoin does go up 2x, you're making that on 2x on top of it. If you dilute, I don't know. I mean, I think there's a way to do it. And I'm not sure that straight out hodl, right? I don't like companies that hodl throughout the bull run and the bear market. I don't like that at all. I like companies that will hodl before the bull run starts, into the bull run, and then sell into the bull run to then use those funds to then grow in the bear market. That's what I really like to see. And we've seen a couple of companies do that here. Or we have companies that just sell directly every time, right? Like IREN, TeraWolf. Who else is in there? There's a couple other ones that also sell, but not a lot. Okay. Let's see. What are your thoughts on this? What if BTC does peak 200,000, but it quickly drops before miners are able to report those earnings? Okay, so if we peak to 200,000 this month before they're able to report earnings, then even at that point, I think the stocks are going to run, because I think investors are forward-looking, right, seeing how much revenue they may be generating, That should also be a catalyst, I would think. Okay, let's see. Question, what caused the huge spike in hash price in the last bull run? Any chance that could happen again, or has the halving crushed it? Bitcoin going up. That's the thing that always drives hash price. So Bitcoin goes up. If Bitcoin goes up faster than network hash rate, that's going to cause the hash price to go up. Okay. Let's see. What do you think is the best way to actually value miners? Profit, forward profits, HODL, hash rate growth, dilution. I think all of those things, right? All those things play an important role. Forward profits, you can take a look at, see where they're going to be possibly. A lot of people look at that. HODL, if they should get the 2x, like JP Morgan is saying that they should be valued at that point. Okay, so that should be one way to look at it. And then hash rate growth, are they still growing? Are they looking to at least keep up with the network hash rate growth or outpace it? That's even better. So that's kind of the way I look at those things. Let's see your question. Why don't you cover Fufu and Soluna? Soluna I covered a while back, probably 2 years ago now, a year and a half ago, something like that. They stopped providing those monthly updates. I think they've started doing those again with the new CEO. And also their business has kind of changed. Plus they're small, so I'm not really covering the smaller miners anymore. Let's see here. Does Cleanspark have any major hidden concerns? Why is its stock price still at low levels? They seem very unreasonable. Yeah, I mean, I don't see any concerns right now. Growth is set for 50 exahash plus next year or this year. I mean, I don't get it either. The only thing that could explain it is the short interest on them. Big guys are playing with the markets right now. Let's see. Could Cleanspark possibly create a short squeeze if they started their share buyback program, but with some of their bond? They did buy some, right? They bought 11 million shares or something like that as part of it. And the stock didn't do much because Bitcoin was actually going down. Let's see. Allman says, careful on playing with quantum. It's misunderstood. You'll have better luck. Yeah, that's why I said it's still early stages on that stuff. Okay. Hey, Seb, yeah, please add total cost when you report cost of mining. Thanks. So you want me to include all that stuff in there, the share-based compensation and the depreciation as well. I could do two versions of it, if anything. I like you looking at the actual cash cost. That kind of gives me at least what is their cash cost. Depreciation, I mean, that stuff's been paid for already for the most part, the machines. And then they're just depreciating those, right? So they're putting it on the books there. Yeah, share-based compensation is also, it's dilutive. Yes, I get that. Okay, let's see. Hey, Seb, what's your thoughts on my 4:1 ratio 87.9 stocks to bonds? Stocks to bonds, depending on who you're in. I'm 100% in stocks on those. I still have 20 plus years of work ahead of me. I figured, okay, if I screw it up, I can at least maybe build it back. Okay, question. Let's see, is this it? Yeah. Nope, that's it. Where did I go? This one. Question. Okay, more exact on my last question. Is there a formula you use to calculate fair value? Could you use Cleanspark as an example? So I do it pretty easily. It's not that complicated. You guys can take a look at it also. Let me see here. So basically what you do is take the revenues from the last 3 quarters, the current quarter that we're in, which is estimated, right? That's the way I use it. Then take that number, you get combined total estimated revenue here, right, for the last 3 quarters, current quarter. 50% net income, 284, PE of 20, divide that by the number of shares, you get the stock price there at a higher margin, right, 75% when Bitcoin gets to like 200,000 or something like that. Kind of looking at it at that point as well. PE of 20, depending what PE you want to use, I think PE 20 is pretty good for them because they're still growing. That's kind of the way I've used it, and that's kind of helped out see where things are at. It's not 100%, well, it's never 100%, but it at least gives me a window where I think they should be possibly valued at, right? A lower end, higher end as well. And then when we look at some of these guys here, based on what they're currently generating, for example, TeraWulf right now, I think TeraWulf might be fairly valued as it is, yeah, or overvalued actually, right? They're at 546, right? They have a little bit of growth left in them. So between 268 to 401, I think they're a little bit overvalued. They got, based on the numbers here, and compare that to enterprise metrics and things like that, you can see that, yeah, they got a little overheated here, it looks like. So that's just kind of the way I do it. Okay, hopefully that explains it. Let's go back over here. Okay. Can we see the actual all-in costs to mine Bitcoin in your updates? All-in costs for each Bitcoin mined. These sleazy companies have been super shady and corrupt by keeping this a secret. I mean, you can run the numbers on it, include all the costs in it, how much Bitcoin did they mine for the quarter, and you get the all-in cost basically at that point. It's not that hard to figure out. Okay, yeah, please include the total cost to mine BTC when giving out numbers. Yeah, so I'll include both. I'll include the all-in cash cost more or less. It's not exact 100%. It's based on what we have in the Q4 or the quarterly results. All right, there's some things that they put in. It's always tricky with those things. I'm not an accountant by nature, so I'm looking at just certain things that I see are as cash costs, but then some of those things also include stock-based payments for it or something like that, so it makes it really tough to get exact numbers. But somebody that's like a forensics accountant or something like that could probably figure this stuff out. But that's above my head right now. All right, let's see if we got anything else. I think we are all caught up, so that is good. Today's Thursday, tomorrow's Friday. We'll do a stream tomorrow, Friday. Typically we don't do one, but I'm sure we're going to get a bunch of updates from the miners. So we'll do one tomorrow, and then we'll take Saturday off, and we'll get back in. Oh, actually, I won't be back until Monday at that point. Yeah, so we'll do one tomorrow, and then we'll hold off until Monday, possibly. All right, that is it. As always, thank you so much for coming in. Greatly appreciate you guys here. I don't see any other questions, so we'll call it a day. Be done with it. I'll get to maybe watch a movie tonight, which is going to be fun. But yeah, thanks again. Love you all. I'll see you guys tomorrow.